Hi guys, welcome to my live stream alone. Originally I was planning to do, originally right now is the time for garden cycle, but unfortunately Alvin is sick today, so we're gonna be moving our live stream to tomorrow. Um, but with that being said, I still want to do this live stream because first of all, this is a promise of me to you guys. Second is like I do have a lot of things I want to discuss with you guys. For the last, I would say like 10 days, I have been getting into this zone, this reading, thinking zone for myself that I haven't entered for a while, to be honest. Because I think for the majority of 2025, my life pace has always been just purely product building, been running around conferences, been talking to like business partners. And I didn't really have a time to calm down and to settle my thoughts. And I've already expressed this during another live stream too. But because my arm is broken and because um I don't know how many oh god I don't know how many of you guys know I'm like lefty, but being a lefty means that like majority of time you're using your left hand to do things, right? And then part of your brain just doesn't get trained that much. And then I just realized that like the more I use my right hand to do things because I'm forced to use it, it actually sparkles a different kind of creativity from my mind. So this is like one of the upside I have never imagined to have. Um, then, because of this, I stay more at home and I start to uh, go through all the books that I've like accumulated but I haven't finished yet, and also like bought a lot of new books to read. Mm. And this is indeed a really good time of the year to summarize all the findings. 2025 is a really, really meaningful year because the wide adoption of AI as well as all the new assets start to merge. I would say the asset world, right, the economic world has started to merge much more between crypto and the traditional finance. Um, so that just means like the skill set that require you to survive in this world, to continuously to win or at least to not lose. If you are not going forward, you are losing, right? Kind of, because everybody else is going forward. So even to maintain your current position, you have to work on yourself and you have to move forward. With that being said, the skill set required to move forward, to stay clear of your mind, as well as to have more foresight, you actually need more alone time and deeper thinking. I I actually realized that because like everybody is so busy, so people who actually take time to put into their deep thinking mind is very rare to find. Uh, which I still think like for my friend group, right? If I really think about it, like for the people I interact on a daily level, they are already very smart. They are either investors, they are partners, they are serious builders, founders, product managers, whatever that is, right? They already have a very good access of information, but yet a lot of it still struggle to clear their mind. One main reason is like either they are super too busy and too tied up with their own work so that like they don't have time to consolidate. The other thing is the fear of uncertainty. Sorry, I have to put this so straightforward into people's face, but a lot of times people they don't they procrastinate their thinking process. It's not because they don't have the capabilities to thinking. It's more about they are kind of scared of taking the responsibility as well as ingesting the information of whatever that conclusion gonna come out of their thinking. It's essentially a fear of uncertainty, and this fear of uncertainty gonna determine and change people's behavior so much, not only in the thinking process but also in their behavior. Because if you don't want to think about something, or if you procrastinate actioning upon something, it just means like you don't want to take the uncertainty coming from your action. But in reality, it's like every single action that you gonna do in this world is a probabilistic function, right? It's not a 0 1. This is not a function you are trying to prove in mathematics. It's indeed your interaction with the world, which is dependent on other people, other logistics, on many different complicated factors that contribute to the world. So with that being said, I do encourage everybody to once in a while meditate, to go into the deeper thinking zone, or just turn off your phone, exhaust your thinking process. And hi everyone for joining my live stream. My day is great. My day has been great, and I'm super excited to enter the month of December, which is the last month of 2025, the last month of the year, but also like looking forward to the new year. Okay. So as we always do, let's kick off our live stream with some market updates. So I think for this week there are many things happens, right? Let's start with the options. We can see that people are not afraid of the short-term crash, right? So people are massively selling the put that expire on December 5th and December 12th for 75,000. They are not afraid of the short term, and then people are generally more um, optimistic on the recent market, and then they don't want to miss the long tail of the massive upside of like Bitcoin going back to 100K 6,000. And then yeah, so the overnight selling of the puts are crazy. So this is good news, but I think still we should expect some like near term volatility for Bitcoin. And even though short term, in the extreme short term, right, people are kind of like a little bit bullish or not afraid of the massive drawdown, then general sentiment for retails, for people who are buying or selling options, those are wells like professional traders, right? But for the general sentiment for the market, you see like people still in the deep fair zone, which is 16. But again, as I stated again and again in my live streams, I think usually those time are a good time to start your DCA process into the assets that you like. Bitcoin could be a good choice. And I think the thing for the trading volume for the last several days, based on my monitoring, like it still happens majorly in tokenized stocks on chain. If I'm purely talking about like on chain volume, and let's just go to have a look. sorry, the default is the Zcash, but we can, I guess, if we just look at the open interest, we can see, okay, Zcash, XRP, what's going on? Okay. I'm just looking at the funding a little bit. Google. Right. So I think people who are putting some like leverage loan in SpaceX, right? Funding. But the open interest rate is like to be honest, the on-chain like tokenized stock market is still very small. Look at this open interest. It's just like 300K. Still so small. Versus Bitcoin is like 2.3 billion. So go back to what we were talking about. I think at least till year end, don't worry about like the market crash too much. If you want to DCA. Another major thing happens like for the first ever time the Japan, BOJ, right? Bank of Japan, they increased the interest rate, which this will have such a tightening results on the liquidity available in the global market because for a really long time, for the last like 20 years. Let me see if I can find a news so that I can present to you guys. But for people who have been monitoring the market, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? For the last like 20 or 30 years, the Bank of Japan, they have been like having either negative or near zero interest rate. So that means like for all the global market participants, they have been putting collateral in Japan and then also borrow against the Japanese market so that they can invest in overseas market, right? In either US equity, US bonds, or other international businesses equities. But because the first time they raised the interest rate, so naturally people who are doing a lot of like funding rate arbitrage, or people who feels because of the increase of the capital cost, right? Naturally, some of the market participants gonna withdraw their liquidity from the international market and then redirect back to the Japanese market, either repay or start to turn into like eternal opportunities. So this had some liquidity traction impact globally, and then we should continue to monitor the near term results of this. Think the market panic a little bit, especially the crypto market, right? Because if the overall like financial market liquidity gonna have a traction globally, then the smaller market is gonna get a more volatile hit. That would means like crypto market or small cap equity market. But I think in the long run, it should be fine. I don't see this as like much significant impact on the crypto market in the near term. Like those are all temporary, like emotional trade come up, or rebalancing of people who have been like using those mechanisms for the funding rate arbitrage liquidity. It's more like deleveraging in those markets. I would say this move has more geopolitical related economy change. It has a broader effect than crypto, if you know what I meant. Because the interest rate change is more change of the macro market liquidity, as well as the flow of the capital across different borders, across different countries, right? And then it also influence the alliance, the political alliance of like business conducting, and then thirdly is influence the importing, exporting pricing directly, right? So mm, I I think like to give you guys a more deeper analysis, I probably will consolidate some data in a week or two and talk about the after effect of the BOJ. Mm. On the other side, another thing happened. It not happened. I mean, it has been going on for a while. Is the significant increase of the silver price. And I see so many people talk about on my timeline, starting from like yesterday or 2 days ago. Mainly, it's like talking about the increasing pricing of silver, but this has been ongoing for a while, right? Starting almost like the beginning of this year. It's just like this year, you see a 100% increase in the silver price. Okay, let me pull out the chart so you know what I'm talking about. Um, price chart. Um, year to date, can you guys see? So obviously, 2025 has been a great year for silver. It's even like out competing gold. Gold only have like a 58.51% of increase, but silver has like almost 85%, right? And then I think the highest point it gets to like 100%. Um, and this is totally normal. The reason why is not, first of all, like for gold, the usage of the gold in industrial usage is like it's just like almost zero, right? People use gold to decorate, to make jewelry or whatever, to use it as a storage of value and to be long term binded to the value of a currency. It's not for consumption, but for silver, it actually has a lot of industry and military usage, right? Industry meaning you whenever you see all the AI chips or the power stations that people are building for all the mm, laptops, anything that like need electricity, right? It will need some sort of silver inside that specific chip or that specific machine. You have like electricity, electronic like vehicles. All of those need significant amount of silver to put into production. And the pricing of the silver right now, it's really driven by demand. It's not even like if there's if it is driven by speculation, then usually, right, the silver future price gonna drive silver spot price, right? But in reality, it's actually the silver spot price driving the silver future price. so so the main majority of the reason why silver increased so much price is because it's increasing demand in AI chips, in electronic vehicle, in building all those electronic like power stations. And we will only see increase in those demand area going forward because everybody is trying to compete on the AI building. Everybody is like for all the LLM model generation, you need more power. You need more computing power. Power means like you need electricity power, but you also need computing power. So I if I were you, I will put a long-term bet in silver for sure. It's driven by demand, right? Second is like um because on the other side, like we are expecting a interest rate cut for December, so people also start to put that into consideration and want to like bet on silver. Mm, personal recommendation, I think if you want to bet directly on silver or some, you may experience some like short-term volatility. But if you bet on like silver adjacent stocks or equities, you you may enjoy a less volatile but long-term upside of that industry. Um, I don't have any recommendation on the top of my mind, but because um, I think like this will be better to ask like for a commodity trader. I only monitor the market because it's my job to identify the different areas of between crypto and traditional finance. And right now, a lot of I think that the crypto movement is more correlated with the traditional finance market. So I start to monitor all markets price movement and make sure that I understand all the fundamental like business operations so that I can make good, clear directions for the company. My role for the company is more like I'm the visionary. I'm the core strategist. Like I only focus on strategy. I focus on okay, here's what I want to build. Here's like what I see in the future. This is the trend for the next like 1 to 2 years. This is trend for the next 5 to 10 years, right? Because every trend or every prediction you make, you need to put out a timeline for that. Otherwise, it's kind of useless for business. Like for life, you can have predictions or you can have like principles for lifetime. But for business, timing is really really important. So whenever I make a prediction or whenever I want to make a shift, a change to the company strategy, um, I will put the timing first of all. Second, I will prioritize. Right, I will only prioritize the actions as well as the product features that are going to have the most direct impact in the maybe next 2 to 3 months. So my most important job is actually every day gather information, analyze thinking, and put it into a logic loop, and then get down all the requirements as well as like facilitate all the business negotiations, fundraising, whatever, right? And then maybe like 1 month or 2 months later, the product gonna be out. So I hope this like give you guys of a view into why I'm talking about those things and why I have a saying in this. Okay, back to think that's enough analysis for silver. And on the other side, what else? For AI, I think a lot of you guys know I have a very deep background in data science, master degree in data science from NYU. Then I worked on Wall Street for 8+ years across different financial institutions to use AI and data science to improve business operations, to improve like business decisions. And then I'm still on the alumni board for NYU Data Science. So I get to not only recruit but also to direct or influence the data science area a bit. With that being said, I'm constantly monitoring the AI or data science impact, no matter from a research perspective, but also from a more practical use case perspective. And it's I I am so happy to see like there are so many creative tooling on my timeline being created. I see people created tools for monitoring like poly market, monitoring the pricing spreads across different poly markets. I see people created tooling for like using the pricing fee to add one more layer of like trading bot to trade the spreads across different prediction market, right? I I also see not see we are internally also building the AI trading bot, which the system is almost down. I'm just asking the team to add in more detailed tracking of the performance, because you not only wanna see the maximum drawdown for each of the transaction, but also you wanna see the daily P&L, the Sharpe ratio. You also wanna see like what is the actual win rate for the different transactions, right? And then we need to determine or do it. Generally, I think like for high frequency trading, I wouldn't want to tap into that industry because, or I wouldn't want to tap into that competition because I think it still matters a lot for your physical infrastructure, for your latency, right? For the trading operating system that you're operating on, and I think like CME or Jump or HFT, all those large companies, they have a lot of edge in this. So even if you have AI, I don't think you can outcompete. And also, I'm pretty sure they are constantly incorporating like AI signals into their trading system. So not a good usage of time. So what we focus on when we build the trading bot is more on the medium frequency trades, and the results has been pretty promising. That's why I said I want to track more of the win rate for different kind of trades on different assets, as well as like we want to backtest it for at least one more month to see how it goes, right? And then sizing of the transaction. I mean, mathematically speaking, it shouldn't matter that much because for all the assets that we are trading right now, it has super deep liquidity. So it does even if we increase the trading size, it doesn't really matter, right? It doesn't the market doesn't give a damn. But I wonder like if technically speaking, it doesn't impact the AI making decisions, but still it's better to test the stability of the system. The problem of the AI prompting results still exists, and we actually internally have identified a potential resolve for this issue, but I feel like this is a little bit more proprietary. It's just one day I was thinking about, oh, how do we solve this issue, and all of a sudden I get this like idea. So let me keep it to myself right now, or to my team right now, and then once it's down, I will share. I promise. Yeah. 1 month later, we should see a very comprehensive system. The other metrics we are tracking are like average holding time of the position, the how many decisions we are making every day, how many hold decisions we're making every day, right? Those are all very simplified statistics. But for whenever I'm developing a feature or I'm sending a product request to the team, I actually don't like complicated things. Because statistically speaking, most of the things that happen in this world, probably you can classify or you can identify less than 3 core contributing factors into those things, especially for business, right? I know the world is a complex system. I know you can assign weights for different factors. I know the reason why we build all those like different data science models is because like we want to scientifically assign the weights. But mm, I think when in terms of, but I still believe like it, given everything is a complex system, right? And given everybody is working kind of like the same surface level, you and everybody have a general understanding of, okay, you have 5 to 10 factors that's contributing to this event, then you, as long as you work on the improvement on 1 or 2 of the major factors that's contributing the results, you're already ahead of 99% of the people. Because my understanding, 80 or 90% of people don't know what are what are the core factors. And uh, then above that, it's like then the remaining, well, either doesn't have enough drive to improve, to think deeper, and to actually execute on improving those factors, those important factors, or they give up, or they couldn't do it, right? There are so many different reasons why the improvement has not been achieved, but I'm just like giving you guys all the general reasons. Hi guys, welcome to my live stream. I was just chatting about like how I think about the improvement on the most important factors for different things. I know I give out a very generalized understanding and description of things. And I'm actually trying to figure out like what's the best way to explain things to people, because my mind, how it functions is I always abstract it into principles, into patterns, right? Into some kind of like internal modeling in my mind for things, so that I can have the direct uh prediction. But I understand for some of my audience or some of my friends, I realize this, right? Because I jump from topics too frequently. So sometimes I need to slow down and then give out maybe a couple of like detailed examples to for them to better understand this situation. Mm, okay, let me think of a specific example. Let's say cooking, right? If you want to cook pancake, what are the most important factors for a pancake? It's how you mix the pancake, right? What do you call it in English? But you know what I'm talking about. How you mix the powder with the water, right? What's the ratio, right? Second is like how long. What's it? Second maybe is like how you cook it, right? The temperature, like how many times you flip it. And third probably is the syrup, you how much syrup you add on to that, right? So I can think of more, right? You can also add other factors, but the majority, and then you can also have, okay, the pan that you're using, the material, it also matters, right? But what I think here is most important thing probably is the mixture, the water and the powder ratio, and second is like how you cook it, right? The temperature and how long you keep into that. So so I think like if you spend your majority of time, 99% of time optimizing the balance of those 2 or 3 important factors, you will already beat the flavor for 99% of people. And then to be the top 0.1% or 0.01%, you you just need to find your differentiator. Maybe you use like even of a special like syrup, or you add special ingredients to make it more chewy. I don't know. What are you talking about? I'm talking about how I think about like improving things. Um, and this is really resolved from an article I read like several days ago, which is mainly talking about like with an with AI mm, prevalence in the society, right? Pretty much you can use AI to generate mediocre knowledge, above average knowledge very, very easily. Just like take one prompt, some proofread, some checking, right? Some common sense checking. So naturally on all of the social media, on all of the timeline, no matter YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Reddit, it will be filled with AI generated content as well as mediocre content. Every single thing will trend towards like the average line, which is the results of AI or AI field content. And that just means like for you to stand out from all those content, um, it's really like a good time for you to spend all of your time to improving the core factors that's contributing to each of the subject matters, right? Like mediocre will never get you anywhere. You have the Babel results. You either be you either be extremely non-organized, so you cater to a certain target user, or you be extremely like well functioned from different dimensions. Opportunity is still there, but this is general guideline. Um, and it's really, I think it's a good time for you to really think about like what you're interested in doing and spend all of your time there. Uh, with that being said, I think I go through everything. Oh, I'm not very used to. I mean, I'm used to live stream alone, but I think like live stream with my uh co-host Alvin is a better choice because we will always like bounce around our ideas together. But I hope he will get back soon, better soon. He says like tomorrow could be a good time for live stream. Hmm. I guess like if you guys want to hear any specific topics, let me know. Can also comment on my Twitter below, reply, retweet, like, right? Wow. Oh, one thing I haven't talked about is uh, I think pretty much Google One AI will not. Oh, okay, I shouldn't say that because I know there's a lot of like Sam Altman followers. Um, but look at their like recent actions, right? Their Gemini 3, TPU, everything. Okay. Mm. Where am I? Sorry, I just got distracted by one of the message. Oh, I was talking about TPU. TPU is basically another kind of like chip or cloud computing architecture that like Google created specifically for heavy AI computing, and they claim that it will be much faster when you process like larger set of data sets, diversified set of data sets, and then you can use like PyTorch with it. You can also use I forgot they also have their proprietary like programming framework. Right? I don't want to say it on the spot to mislead you guys, but check it out. And then I think like they are basically trying to compete with NVIDIA on the Meta contract, right? And this kind of like competition will continue to go forward. I Oh, another news is like Vanguard start to like list Bitcoin, like Ethereum, basically crypto related ETFs into their platform. This is a big news. This just means like all the retirement funds, as well as like traditional investors, right? Even like older investors, will get into the money will flow into the crypto space. So it's a very interesting finding, right? Again, institutional players, traditional players, they are actually stacking up Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever, right? So, but but then on the other side, like some crypto OGs, they either like they say, oh, we're down, or they start to sell their positions. So I think like you guys can make your own judgment of like what you want to do under the current situation. And I can confidently tell you this, right? We will continue to see the inflow of the traditional market money uh, and assets into the crypto market. And they will be very sticky liquidity, to be honest. Uh, mm, so you based on your own financial situation, liquidity availability, you should decide like what you want to do in the short term and long term. Okay, I think this is all I want to share today. Thank you guys for joining. I will keep this one short because I literally went through everything, right? AI prediction, market, and assets. And tomorrow I will see you guys again for my live stream with Alvin if he feels better. And now I will spend more time on reading, on reflecting. And I already created a list of questions I want to go through together with Alvin for the year-end summary. Basically, is to reflect all the decisions and events happen in 2025, no matter from a market perspective, but also from a personal perspective, right? And how we all learn together, and what's our outlook going forward for 2026. And I'm very much looking forward to do this exercise together with you guys. I'm very honored, humbled, I'm very excited for this. Mm, and hopefully you guys gonna have a great Tuesday. And I will see you tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.